Hey guys, how's it going? It's 8-Bit Eric, and boy, oh boy, have I been wanting to talk about this game since I found out that it was going to be released. Resident Evil 3 Remake. Now, Resident Evil 2 Remake came out last year, and I didn't get a chance to review it on the channel. Matter of fact, I didn't even buy it. But I've looked at it, I've checked it out. I was really impressed with what Capcom is doing as of late with the Resident Evil series. They're essentially just taking the games and just building them up from the ground up, which is kind of cool. Sure, would I like them to make new stuff? Maybe Resident Evil 8? Anybody? Resident Evil 7 was alright, but, you know, you can't beat the classics. Resident Evil 3 was one of those games that I experienced when they were originally re-released on the GameCube. Yeah, back in the day, Capcom, for whatever reason, brought back all the Resident Evil games to the GameCube, and that's where I experienced it. It was called Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, though. This is just called Resident Evil 3. Now, there are some slight changes in regards to the story on this. I don't want to give too much away spoilers because there were some pretty good little cutscenes and good little like swerves and unique little twist to the gameplay that made it feel like something entirely different, and that's exactly what this game is. It's not just a remaster. You know, anybody could just do a graphical upgrade and throw it into a cartridge packet and say, okay, it's a game. This is a from the ground up, completely built new game, and boy, does it look fantastic. I mean, just taking a look at the character models in this game, they all look so freaking super realistic. There's like some facial recognition software I guess they must be using, because if you look at the cutscenes, these characters' faces and reactions and just the way their eyes look and when they're talking just look so realistic. It's like you're watching a movie, which is freaking awesome. Now, this story follows Jill Valentine, who was in the original Resident Evil. There's going to be slight spoilers in this review, by the way, not too bad, but just slight. If you haven't played the Resident Evil games, you might want to go back and play the original so you can kind of keep up where it's at and play part 2, as a matter of fact, and then get to 3. But, okay, anyways, Resident Evil 3 takes place between part 2 and 3 Nemesis. It's kind of like this game's time span starts sandwiched between 2 and the events from the original part 3. You know, it takes place 2 months after the mansion incident from part 1. Jill Valentine is in Raccoon City, and it's just now being kind of chaotic from the T-virus that was spread from the mansion. On top of that, she has a huge bioweapon that's practically a Terminator called the Nemesis coming after her. He's programmed to kill all the STAR's members, and she's like one of the last ones in Raccoon City. So he's out for vengeance. So you have to deal with him chasing you. Now, in the original Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, he would pop up quite often, randomly, a little bit more scarier, and it felt more random than what it feels like in this game. In this game, he only appears in certain sections, if that makes sense. Like you'll often get a cue, most likely a cutscene that lets you know he's there. In the original Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, it wasn't cutscenes. He would just run onto the screen, even if it was from off of screen. So this one is a little bit more cinematic in that regard, where there's a lot of cutscenes between transitions of areas and missions and things that you do in this game, including where the Nemesis shows. So he's not as scary as he was in the original one, because he's not as randomized. You know he's coming because a cutscene happens and you're able to like not get jump scared. So this game didn't have as much jump scares as the original Resident Evil 3 Nemesis did, but that's not a bad thing. I feel that they did a lot of different takes and turns in the story to make it unique enough. I don't want to get too involved with it, but just to give you a quick briefing, she's in Raccoon City. She's being chased by the Nemesis. She runs into a group of Umbrella soldiers who are like a biohazard containment unit. Carlos, who is essentially becomes her friend. He's the secondary character in this game as well. They're both trying to figure out how to escape the city and get rid of the Nemesis and go to safety, basically, and not become zombies. Yeah, so the premise of the story is that trying to escape the city, you have a big monster coming your way, and it didn't feel as much of a survival horror game as the originals did. In fact, this one felt a lot more action-based, a little bit more of like an action game. There was a lot of cutscenes, like I said, cinematics, a lot of voice acting. It really felt like you were watching a movie. And I honestly was impressed overall with it. But my main chief complaint with this game, honestly, is that it felt a little short. This is a full price game, by the way, a $59.99 game. If you go to Walmart, you get it $10 cheaper, $49.94. I felt it was a little overpriced for what you're getting here. Sure, it has a nice new coat of paint on it, a new story. It's built from the ground up, but it's really based on a game that's over 20 years old. And if you've played it in the past, there's not much in way of too many surprises. Like, there was nothing that I was like, holy shit, they changed it up. It's kind of a linear Resident Evil, like as opposed to like the first one, even the second one. Like, you're able to kind of explore at your own will, but this one you're a little bit more confined to paths in the city. It's not as huge as some of the other ones, so it might feel quite quickly that you get through the game, because there's only really like a few areas that you can go from. You start off in Raccoon City downtown, then you go to like the sewer, and then you go to the next area, and so forth. But it is nice to see references to the Resident Evil series. There's lots of Easter eggs in this, lots of funny little Easter eggs and references to pop culture as well on the walls and posters and stuff. But my main complaint was that it felt very short. But other than that, it is a pretty good game. It does have a huge amount of difficulty. I was playing standard, and I was dying quite a bit for some very cheap deaths that were from zombies and also other creatures in the game. Not the Nemesis so much. I don't think the Nemesis maybe killed me like once, but again, it's not by surprise. You see him coming a mile away because of the cutscene. Honestly, there's 3 different difficulties. There's standard, there's hardcore, which basically is like scarce items, scarce ammo, enemies are stronger, and then there's assisted, where it's like auto aim. You start with an assault rifle, the enemies are weaker, and basically it kind of handholds you. You could change the game difficulty in the middle of the game, but once you do that, you're not allowed to change it back. So you can't go from standard to assisted back to standard, or standard to hardcore back to standard. So it kind of punishes you for using assisted mode. But it was kind of strange that they did it. You know, usually Resident Evil games are based on their difficulty and their challenge and stuff. But then again, this one still, it had the, elements of the original version. It just didn't feel as survival horror as the original one did. But that's not docking it on any points at all. I think it still was a really well done game. I just felt it was a little bit too quick. Now, included in this is a online mode called Resident Evil Resistance. It's a 4 versus 1 online experience that says 4 people take the chance to go against one player that's a criminal mastermind or something and avoid his traps and stuff. I haven't gotten to play it yet, solely because this game just came out. I haven't gathered around enough friends, but maybe I'll do a separate video, maybe a let's play of playing the online mode. But overall, I mean, it is nice that Capcom is doing this. They're remaking the original games from the ground up and stuff. But I honestly would like to see Capcom make new stuff. Like Resident Evil 7 had a lot of potential. It left the series at a good point, kind of like a soft reboot. I would like to see them use a lot more of their time to make new IPs and continue their best franchises like Mega Man's and Street Fighters and Resident Evils. But I guess, people are enjoying these remakes. I still have yet to play the second one. I played the original second one all the time, so I felt I was okay to start with part 3. But it is worth getting. If you're a big time fan of Resident Evil, you won't be disappointed. If you're new to the series, maybe check Remake 2 first, or get the originals that were remade like on the GameCube and every single console since the GameCube. You have a whole lot of Resident Evil to catch up on. It is high in price, but I predict this will drop like any other third-party game on Xbox and PlayStation within the next month or so. So get it on sale. It's not a bad game by any means. Anyways, guys, I'm going to let you guys go. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to like and comment down below. Subscribe if you haven't. I'll see you next time. Consider supporting 8-Bit Eric on Patreon for just $1 a month. Link below in the description. You want to become part of the hashtag 8BE Nation, guys? Well, be sure to pick up your official merch, now available online. Link is below in the description. We got classic t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, and even women's apparel. Don't forget, pick up your official merch now. And while you're at it, guys, feel free to watch the next video, or why don't you catch up on one that you might have previously missed. Thanks again, guys, for all the support. I couldn't do this without you. You guys are amazing, and don't forget to subscribe and click that like button if you are brand new. Thanks again, guys. Peace out.